Why do they keep making these? So, unbeknownst to me, Capcom did a sneaky drop for its long-awaited multiplayer component to Resident Evil 8. Yes, that's the Resident Evil 8 that came out all the way back in May of 2021. The only question I have left is why? Why do Capcom keep insisting on making really basic bitch multiplayer games to slap into Resident Evil? Umbrella Corps, Resistance, and now Reverse. I guess they've technically got better as they've gone on, but that still isn't a good enough reason to keep pumping resources into these overly simple, niche multiplayer experiences. Don't get me wrong, I don't begrudge anyone that enjoys these games. Umbrella Corps was almost fine for an afternoon or two, and I played Resistance for longer than I care to admit on this channel. But this is just... I already kinda hated the game from the second I booted it up. Between the multiple terms of services that required me to leave the game and open Microsoft Edge, 2 long network connection loading screens, and the faff of linking a Capcom account to my Xbox Live, I was ready to call it quits before I even hit the main menu. But I persisted, and for my patience, I was rewarded with the ugliest filter I have ever seen slapped onto a visual image. You really sold this disgusting mess of optical torture, packaged with one of 2021's most gorgeous releases? The actual content of the tutorial didn't do much to dispel my worries either. It basically plays like the RE remakes, if they were made by someone with less talent for developing than we have prospects for a Dino Crisis reboot. Go on Capcom, prove me fucking wrong. After the tutorial, you can jump right into Reverse's one and only game mode, Traditional Deathmatch with extra steps. The mode is pretty bare bones, essentially just being run around, shoot out until you're killed and turn into one of 6 different mutants, until you die again and respawn. As well as the 6 monster types, there are also 6 different iconic playable human characters. This does present a much needed learning curve to the gameplay, with each character having their own 2-weapon loadout and special abilities. It also has the knock-on effect of encouraging the player to try out different playstyles. Tragically though, none of these avatars managed to make any fundamental changes to the match, although there are some characters that are clearly the better choice to play as. You could call it an easy or hard mode, but your reward for playing on hard mode is getting repeatedly fucked up by everyone else having a slightly more fun time than you. I guess at least some kind of effort was made then. Since the characters have about as much range and impact as a Resident Evil TV series, the combat has to stand up on its own. Which would be fine if every fight didn't come down to who saw who first. Or, even more importantly, who is unlucky enough to get shot in the back by a third party. That really is the only effectual tactic to achieving first place. Just wait for someone else to do all the dirty work and hope you get a lucky shot before someone else spawns behind you. That repetitive action is bad enough on its own, but when combined with a lack of any sort of balanced spawning, as well as the loss of some gained points upon death, it becomes entirely possible to go from first place to practically last in only a few unlucky encounters. Spawning is arguably the biggest issue featured in Resident Evil Reverse. Like I said before, your position on the map respective to other players' backs is the primary key to a win or a loss. So being thrown to the opposite side of the map where no enemies are appearing, or barely just appearing yourself and being impaled by a tyrant, don't make victory any easier. The spawn points also decide how often you'll get your hands on extra ammo, special weapons, and most importantly, virus capsules that'll upgrade which mutated monster you'll play as after being beaten to death by an enemy that can repeatedly stunlock you. Reverse also tries to elevate its gameplay by incorporating a very sparse perk system. Basically, RP can be used to unlock coins that can then be assigned to have minimal effects on damage or defense. Annoyingly, these same points are also used to unlock every form of cosmetic. So you'll have to make the all-important choice of increasing your chances of survival or looking like an overgrown toddler. Of course, like all shitty bargain basement multiplayer trash, there is a way to gain a leg up over the competition if you're willing to open up your wallet for poor, struggling trillion-dollar net worth Capcom. Tacked on battle passes and extortionate RP boost packs are here to incentivize those bored players who don't like playing video games to spend unreasonable amounts of money in the pursuit of being able to both look good and play good without a grinding process that'll last way longer than this game even comes close to deserving. And in case you were wondering if Reverse's reliance on purchasable fake money had a hefty impact on the game's unlockable progression, even the fucking main menu backgrounds cost made-up points. Don't worry though, like all good drug dealers, Capcom gives you the first dose for free. After playing Reverse, I can understand why this game was long-term delayed before quietly squirting itself into availability. I'd be embarrassed by it too, Capcom. But what I cannot understand is why Capcom have done this 3 times now. Surely, these things cannot be making money. If they were, Capcom would have advertised its release in any meaningful way, instead of leaving its barely formed corpse as a secret dirty stain in my games library. I thought the remakes and the change in direction for Resi 7 and 8 were Capcom's way of moving forward, leaving past mistakes in the past where they belong. Yet somehow, they still throw money at this dreck. Minimum 2 years of development, and all they could come up with was 2 bloody maps, copy and paste characters, and a handful of generic microtransactions. Yeah, that's right, I said 2 maps, 2 fucking maps, 2 years of development, and they only had time for 2 fucking maps. Did they spend a year on each? You'd think they'd be designed better if they had. The Resident Evil franchise has so many fantastic locations for battle arenas, and you only made fucking 2? I hope you enjoyed this video. Jesus Christ, guys, what the fuck were you playing at for 2 years? I hope you enjoyed this video, because I didn't enjoy making it. And just like the team behind Reverse, I'm going to stop putting in the effort now. If you had fun, we'd appreciate if you left a like, or even subscribed. That'd definitely make the wasted time I sunk into this game feel less painful. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to financially support the creation of more videos. But regardless of that, we appreciate the support you've already shared with us by watching this video. Thank you again for watching, and cheers.